in Port Harcourt. There's ports. It's just that even when you are shipping your stuff, they will ask you where do you want it to be shipped to. You can decide where. There's even in Kaduna, there's land, there's dry port in Kaduna. If you want your products to be delivered there, they will deliver it to the place. Now, come and get. I will tell you why people will prefer Lagos. Hold on. Why people will prefer Lagos? Because there's more manpower and there's easy accessibility for all of them. What is Calabar Coastal Highway trying to do? That's the same thing this Calabar Coastal Highway is trying to do, to expand the country, but you are impatient as Nigerians to wait for the result and you keep complaining. And everything. And let me tell you, this thing has been happening from the previous government till now. Why haven't you guys put the same energy and everything to the previous government? Why this government? I am not saying that this government is doing. What I'm saying is this government doing their best? Probably not. They could have done better, but they are actually doing something. Don't say there's nothing happening in this government. They are actually trying their best.
Kind of what my friend Lade just said, Salim. I agree with him 100%. The truth is that there are ports almost everywhere in Nigeria, and importers just believe that we want to go to Lagos. For obvious reasons, you find most of the things you want in Lagos, and so it's not the fault of the government. Like she said, we've had presidents in the past who did not do anything to better this country. And so for me, if you blame it on this present government, you are not being fair to the government. VDM is not being fair. You understand? The fact that the ports in Lagos is thriving, the fact that the airport in Lagos is thriving is because everybody wants to go to Lagos and do whatever you want to do in Lagos. Abuja, for instance, we have an international airport. Excuse me. Yes, we have an international airport in Abuja, for instance, but people still believe they need to go to Lagos to go. I'm coming from the point of view of VDM. He said people prefer to fly from Lagos. So it's not the fault of the government, please. Let's just absorb this government of blame all the time. Thank you so much.
Add to what my guy here said. See, government is not rocket science. It is simple. Now, as much as there is pressure, what is at play here? What is the problem of government here is the politics behind government. Fact. See, these men are not out here to make our lives better. They are there to make their life. Now, I'm not going to say every one of them. There are a few people who has genuine intention for the country. Now, if a man like this, who has no experience in government, is telling you that there is, see, Lokoja and the rest you mentioned and even none. See, do you know you could build a dream, you could dredge the Imo Sea? You have, aside dredging, there's Port Harcourt, there is Calabar, there's Akwa Ibom, there's Warri. See, you're complaining about Lagos. These people are strategically moving everything to Lagos to keep at a location. You don't know this because you are just jumping at, you think it's rocket science for the federal government to issue or these people, state governments to work on, and then Port Harcourt, this thing is functional, or the shipping in Calabar is functional. You think it's hard? Do you know how many billions we spend? And then somebody comes here to defend this government and everything, and I look at this person and say, what is all this nonsense? Do you think they are here to make your life easy? They're here to make and to enrich. Why do you think they don't have anything here? They're always outside. So please, nobody should tell me anything. See, it is simple. If we want to even make everywhere good for Nigeria, it is very easy. Now, in terms of Lagos State, it is easy to even decongest Lagos State. With that, tell me just one thing. Just build a port. Just do a seaport in Calabar. Watch me. I bet you, half of the businessmen you see in Lagos will disappear. It is simple. So please, let's just proceed. I don't have anything to answer.
You made a very vital point. You know, the truth be told, if you stayed in Port Harcourt very well, you will know that Port Harcourt also has access to the seaports. You have once you get to One, once you pass Aleto and all those sites, going to Eleme, going to One, you find out that operations go on and on, even from Articles Fem, you know, and other oil wells there. I think, you know, it's the monotony we're talking about. Having everything to deal with Lagos, from the international airports. Most people who are flying out of the country go through that route. most people who are also bringing in things, you're importing cars, you're importing all sorts of stuff, has to be Lagos. If you have these things in different locations, Warri, what do you call it, Onitsha, no, even Warri is even closer. From Warri you can do your business, Kaduna, Kanu, and then Port Harcourt, most importantly. You can have access. It makes the pressure in Lagos reduce. It brings business down to these sites. You understand? So, it's a very valid point that, if we have these things, made up in other states, why not? More revenue for the states, more job opportunities for those states, more trusted clients. You wouldn't have to be far away to make orders, down to where you reside. So it's a 100% valid point for me.
P2B said something that we consume a lot, right? And we don't really produce. So I'm going to trace everything. We consume a lot. Where the things we consume, where is it coming from mostly? It's coming from Lagos State. Lagos was originally meant to contain less than 3 million people. Today we have over 20 million people in Lagos. That's population bomb. Why? Because everything comes from Lagos. Gadgets come from Lagos. Cars come from Lagos. You are importing food materials, it comes from Lagos. Seaports, everything. So naturally people will navigate towards the area that has much traffic. So what we are all saying is, if we can decongest the economic factors in Lagos that are making people to come to Lagos into other areas, people will naturally disseminate to those areas. So you don't need a lot of business entrepreneur mindset or anything. So let's say we take out some of the attentions in Lagos and we channel it to Calabar, we channel it to, let's say, Akwa Ibom, to Port Harcourt, to other places, and open up these places. You see that private individuals will now go to those other places and set up their business. And when they're setting up their businesses, you see people building things there, innovation happening in those places, infrastructure development happening in those other areas, and it decongest Lagos. So when someone graduates from university, you are not thinking you want to go to Lagos because there's a lot of money there. You might decide to go to either Port Harcourt or Calabar or any other place that have these things. So we are not saying that it is just because there's the business idea. There is nothing in Lagos that make Lagos spectacular or unique. It is just that seaport and the concentration of all the economic powers in that seaport. That is why it's that way. So that's what we're saying.
You see, most of these guys that are even discussing there do not understand how, should I say, enormous this thing is. How badly it was done. The other day, somebody told me, take your goods, ship your goods through Enugu, through Calabar or One. This person does not understand what happened. And some of these guys discussing, they don't understand. Even the ones discussing in favor of decentralizing Lagos. We've done a video on this before. Now, this particular video is practically how it was done. Explaining everything to you in practical terms, how it was done. So, my people, you are welcome back to IGBO AREA TV, where we say the truth as it is. Like I said earlier, we spoke about how Lagos seems to take everything. Major seaports, busiest airport, and even the biggest company headquarters. We talked about it. Today, we are going deeper. So that when somebody asks you, you say Lagos is taking this lion's share of this and that. When somebody asks you to explain, you'll be able to explain to the person. How did Lagos become the single door where almost every ship and every plane and that enters Nigeria, while other regions remain underused? Now, let's break it down. Let's start with the seaport story. First, the seaports. Nigeria officially has several seaports, we know. You have the Apapa, the Tinkan in Lagos, you have the Port Harcourt, you have that's One in River State, we have the Warri, and the Calabar in Cross River. But why is it that more than 80% of the containers, the traffic, passes through only two, mainly Apapa and Tinkan, mainly, both are in Lagos? Why? This is not an accident. Over the years, federal investments, dredging, listen carefully, dredging, and custom approval have been directed to Lagos first. So, if you are trying to ship from other country, the first choice they present to you is Lagos. And Lagos water was deepened. They built container terminals and linked roads and railway. So it took time. Massive investment that has been continuous. So what happens to other ports? They tell you they fixed, we have this port, we have this port. What about the roads to the port and all of this? So you need to understand it's systematic, yes. You need to understand how it was done practically. You understand? So while Lagos is this way, the ports in Calabar and Warri are left shallow and under-equipped. You will not want to bring in your goods through an under-equipped port. You don't understand. Like the person telling me, hey, why not ship through? If you understand what is involved, it's even costlier. So you begin to understand clearly in practical terms what is happening. If you are shipping something through this place and you have to pay, okay, you have to pay, for example, $5,000, and they are telling you, maybe Lagos is $5,000, and they're telling you, Calabar, you have to pay $8,000, $10,000. Check it now. You will not want to ship through Calabar. So you need to understand what happened. This thing took time. It is something, yes, decentralized. It will not be immediate, but gradually. But we want it to start. Now, let's talk about those policies that favor Lagos. There are policies that favor Lagos. Now, let me tell you, importers also complain about hidden policies. The tariffs and the custom rules make Lagos cheaper or faster. That is what I've been telling you. The tariffs, the custom rules, it makes Lagos cheaper or faster. And those who are talking about splitting, they know why they are saying so. If Nigeria is split and these people have their own nation, my goods will not be shipped to Lagos. It will be shipped direct to my country. So, Eastern Port face delays, higher charges. Listen carefully. Delays, higher charges, and difficult paperwork. So you are telling people, the person told me, I ship through Calabar now. Is anybody holding you? You think I wouldn't want to ship through Calabar? I would want to ship through One, Port Harcourt, and Calabar. But here are the hassles. Here are the bottlenecks. They talked about they are dredging Calabar Port, but it's still unfinished. After many promises, they tell you they are dredging. They tell you about the court, and even the ways, the roads linking to the port. So even if a ship wants to go to east, this obstacle push it back to Lagos. You don't want to suffer. And that is why we tell you it is by design, not by chance. It is strategic. It is systematic. It is arranged to be so. And more money is still being pumped to make Lagos port the best. Or even they build dry ports in Ibadan and some Yoruba states too. Rather than fix that one, upgrade it to Lagos standard. Everything to meet the standard of Lagos. No, they will not. They will always present it in a way. If you call them on phone, like they are called Nigeria Ports Authority, they told me, Calabar is working. One is working. Is it working as it ought to work? They will tell you yes. But when you want to import, when you are an importer, you understand what I mean. So these guys who are discussing, they don't have any, okay, let me just say they have slight knowledge of what they are saying. Infrastructure advantage. Massive federal funding built strong roads and rail lines linking Lagos ports to every corner of Nigeria. From Lagos ports, it is easier for you to get to any part of Nigeria you want your good to get to. Rather than face all the troubles going to Calabar and the rest of them from the sea. Your problem starts even from the seaport. Let's assume the ship carrying the containers have landed. You have a lot of things, problems to go through. Like I said, bottlenecks. So federal government is still pumping and pumping into Lagos. So we're talking about facility here. Like I said, massive federal funding, strong roads, and even rail lines linking Lagos port to every corner of Nigeria. Meanwhile, when we talk about the east, the south, wait for basic upgrades. If you are an importer, would you risk delays in Port Harcourt or Calabar when Lagos gives you rail lines straight to north and west? So government priorities made that choice easy. There is a common saying in Igbo land, "Mahapu eba na-echi ọzọ je ebe a na-arụ agwụ." So for people who tell you, that is Port Harcourt port is functioning, are you ready to go through the cost and the troubles? Now let's go to airport dominance. The same pattern shows in our airports. Muritara Mohammed International Airport in Lagos handles over 60% of Nigeria's international passengers and more than 80% of air cargo. It is by design. Other airports, Abuja, Port Harcourt, Kano, Enugu, they exist. Yes, we know they exist and they have been designated international. But airlines are encouraged to start in Lagos because of approvals, landing slots, and facilities are easier there. So when federal upgrades are planned, Lagos comes first. Lagos gets lion's share of this. And more is still being pumped to make Lagos better rather than fix other ones. Now, centralized federal control. Remember, all seaports and airports belong to the federal government. In case you don't know, somebody is telling Easterners, go and build your seaport, go and build this. All of them are controlled by the federal government. State cannot really build or expand them. Somebody said eBay to build. Can you compare what he built to that of the federal government with oil money, dollars, and the rest of them? Money getting from foreign exchange. Can you compare that? An individual port to no. So states cannot really build or expand these things. The central control means that if Abuja chooses to focus on Lagos, other regions cannot independently balance the system. That is why a city like Onitsha, sitting beside a navigable river, still depends on Lagos for imports. Even when they told you they will move some barge, they move some of them to Lagos, to Onitsha. And people are happy. Hey, Onitsha is not a seaport. It has to still go to Lagos and before it comes to Onitsha. You don't know. So this design has effects. Goods coming to East or the North must first land in Lagos. Traders pay extra to truck or rail them back across the country. So it creates higher prices, heavier traffic, and unequal development. Meanwhile, we keep hearing that Lagos economy is bigger than Ghana and the rest of them. But how? Much of that is because Lagos is eating what should be shared by other parts of the country. And this particular problem does not end at the ports and airports because cargo and flight pass through Lagos. Companies set up their headquarters there because of, the influence of all of this trade. Even oil majors whose operation mostly are in Niger Delta, they keep their main offices in Lagos. Over 70% of Nigeria's biggest companies have their corporate headquarters in Lagos. So the cycle feeds itself. Traffic brings business and business attracts more traffic. So more is still being pumped into Lagos, overcrowding Lagos, while other regions are left like that. Some people say, let Igbo traders work harder. Funny. But I keep telling you, individuals cannot break a federal design. This is where senators, governors, and national lawmakers from the Southeast, South, and North must act. They must demand federal funding for other ports. After all, even the crude oil, where then they say, no be Lagos, they produce most. Lagos follow for the lowest. But that all of those money, then they pump into to fix Lagos. So our senators, our lawmakers must demand federal funding for other ports, fair custom policies, and dredging of rivers to open inland ports. Without this policy change, no amount of a private effort will balance Nigeria's gateway. So don't allow anybody to deceive you. Of course, Lagos should succeed. We are not against Lagos, but Nigeria is too big to depend on one city. Everything Lagos. We need strong ports in Port Harcourt, Calabar, Warri, and even Onitsha. We need Enugu, Kano, and Abuja airports handling more international flights. And we need corporate headquarters spread across the nation, not just focus on Lagos. So when we say Lagos dominance is by design, that is what we mean. federal ownership, budget priorities, regular hurdles, and deliberate investment choices. It is not a tribal sentiment. It is a policy pattern that Nigeria must correct. My people, the time to act is now. Let us pick up until every region of Nigeria enjoys fair access to trade and travel. Please share this video widely. Whenever somebody tells you, explain, or tell you, why not move your good through these places that are not Lagos, you'll be able to answer the person in practical time. Tell the person, this is this. This was done this way, and this was done this way. And that is why it can happen. And it is not something that will change overnight. It will be gradual, but it has to start. Please don't fail to share this video widely. Subscribe if you have not subscribed to our channel. I am Azuka Oji. I say bye-bye for now.